Good morning. Welcome to the new video series. Not going to do a big long yap intro, but this is basically your how to make money trading Bitcoin today, or whatever day it is that you watch these videos. They're going to be a daily video, Monday to Friday, going through specific levels, and the idea is that it's your step-by-step playbook on essentially how to make money in the markets on that particular day. Don't see anybody else doing this, so yeah, we normally put this stuff and these theses in the TG every day. We catch some great plays, so think it's great to put this into a video and be able to add more nuance and insights and go through some things that I get a lot of questions on that are easier when I kind of show you on the chart and you can see what I'm looking at. And if you're not already in the Telegram, it's free, by the way, first link in the description. But all that to one side, let's jump straight into it. So obviously here looking at Bitcoin, we're looking at it on the daily because when we're in doubt, we zoom out, we stay on the higher time frame to get an idea of what's going on. So we've obviously seen this nuke here. We're starting to slowly build these higher lows and come into some sort of bullish, get some bullish momentum back in the market. You can kind of see we're clipping our head here on this red zone starting around 94,500. Realistically, we need to break through this 95 before I can start saying that we're going to make new legs to the upside. That is really our key resistance, as this uptrend is a little bit tentative. We've got all these green zones here, which we'll come to in a minute. These are going to be our buy side imbalances where we'll look to sweep for liquidity. Again, these are going to be our specific zones we can look at. But the too long didn't read is in the short term, I'm just expecting more range bound trading. It's great for trading, for day trading, for scalping. This is the environment that we want to be in. Don't listen to the nonsense on CT of all these LARP traders that don't actually know how to trade and just shill your meme coin rugs saying, stay away from the chart, wait for better conditions, blah, blah. Nonsense, in my opinion. You want to be getting involved in this and looking for some really high probability plays. The mean reversion model that we go through in the Telegram is great in these conditions. And yeah, where I can see in this compression here, if we take a look how things are going, let me take the magnet off. We're kind of looking to compress here and just trading in this range here, but to state the obvious, I think it's not going to be long before we see a big move in one way or the other. Let's just jump in and see where we're going at, because there's two scenarios here. One, we start going through this chop and pushing to the upside and breaking through 95. I think this retest here of 86 is very likely, which will align with some EMAs, which I'll go into in a minute. And then the nuke option is that we do just have one final flush here, bounce off this lower buy side imbalance here. If we're going down to those levels already, things are not looking great from a market structure perspective. And this last bit of hope that we've had where, we're trying to make a recovery has sort of been destroyed. But as is with the market, every single day we take what we get and we play it day by day. We're not here to be investors, we're here to be traders. So let's get stuck into the specific details. Now, most of you know me as an order flow trader. That is how I scalp, using things like exo charts, big liquidity and volume maxer. So that's all really important to me. But when we're trying to get some context on the higher time frames, I do like looking at what other people are looking at, specifically the EMAs as well. I've pulled up here the 20 and the 50 EMA. We've got our 20 on the bottom here, and we have our 50 on the top, purple line. And you can see we're actually trading in between the two now. We came up, we swept to this 4-hour sell side imbalance, and we're coming back into this first 4-hour buy side imbalance. And you can actually see here that we're getting confluence between our 20 and 50, that this range bound environment might be something that we're looking to stay within. And these will be key levels for your algos, for your breakout traders, for your momentum traders, for your trend traders, that will all be looking at this for signs of whether we're going higher and whether we're going lower. If we add into this also as well the VWAP, now this is the yearly VWAP that we have. Of course, we're in a brand new year already, so we don't have much for this, but what is curious to look at, let's remove these EMAs for now, is that our first standard deviation level from the previous year's VWAP aligns perfectly with this 4-hour buy side imbalance here around 88K. So again, something interesting to add that we might look to sweep here, because also if we did something like this, we're coming down here, blah, blah, we've come here, we come all the way down and sweep this low, we're still maintaining this higher low structure, this bullish structure to continue to the upside. And it's more chop to gather liquidity, it's more chop for us to trade the conditions. Because a move from here 90,720 all the way down there, is great opportunity for shorts, great opportunities to build more positions long, and just ultimately great opportunities for us to make money. If we change the VWAP as well to the monthly, which is also quite important, you can see that we're currently trading underneath it again on the daily time frame, which is telling us that we are in even if it's short term in a downtrend and looking to push further to the downside, which adds more confluence to the fact that, okay, in the bigger picture, we might be looking to do something like this, grab some more liquidity, even do a little wick into here, start coming back up, and you'd still be maintaining this bullish structure in the grand scheme of things, even though CT and people all over your Telegram would see wick down here and go, oh my god, it's over, look at this, we had this pump, it was a complete fake out, when in reality, even a push down here to 86, 87k, when you look on the high time frame, we're still maintaining positive bullish market structure. Okay, so now that we've identified these zones where we might look to sweep liquidity on the buy side, which are obviously these green boxes, and where we might look to find resistance on the sell side imbalances, which are the red boxes, ultimately we want to know, okay, Nigel, where do I short to and where do I look to buy from? Well, we do that by using volume, and I've already set out these lines here if I pull them up. So these are your low volume nodes in between these zones. So these are the areas where price passed through very quickly, and typically we look to come back and retest. We'll keep it super simple for now. When you want more details on this and you want to learn every day, we go through this in the free Telegram. So if you're not joined that, just join. It's the first link in the description. It's super simple. So what we're looking for is trades into this zone. You most likely see some sort of a bounce where people and bots and algos and traders or whoever it might be will look to, bottom pick here. If we're going short into them, they'll look to bottom pick at the top. But where we use order flow, which I'll show you in a second on the exo charts, and those that tune into the streams will be very familiar with this already, these zones here are the low volume areas within these zones specifically, where we typically look to come back and fill these in. Just think of them as gaps in the trading, in the trading where there's been buying and where there's been selling. There's a gap there where we're yet to have a fair auction between buyers and sellers, and prices move through that very quickly to the point where there was very little volume done. So again, what does that mean? Well, it means that if we're looking to short into, let's just say, for example, this one daily here, this daily buy side imbalance, let's say we're looking to short here, we'd be looking to, let's say we enter short here and it starts doing this, we'd look to start taking profit around the very tip of this area, but then also look to be completely out of our position by the time we reach the white line. And what I'm going to do here is just leave this on the screen so you can see the key levels that I'm looking at. So the first 4-hour buy side imbalance is 93.65. Then if we go down, it's 89.200. Next level down, 88.175. Next level, 87.450. And if we do sweep all the way to the bottom, I'm looking at either catching this top here at 86.625 or retracing all the way back into the low volume node, which is at 86.240. You can make a note of those, put them on your chart. You can see them here on the white numbers on the right. And these want to be your key targets for, if we go down or if we go up, to keep it stupid simple. And now to quickly round things off here, we're looking at the order flow platform. So we're looking at exo charts, of course. And I've got basically here my typical candlestick charts. I'm looking at the delta clusters here to see imbalances and looking at where buyers and sellers are transacting specifically within the candle. We've got the VWAP, we've got all of our levels here, daily high, daily value area high, weekly VWAP, etc. I've got my delta here, which I'm typically using as a cumulative volume delta, but looking at it in a histogram mode. We've got the open interest here. This is currently being aggregated between Bybit and Binance. And then we have our footprint bar, which we have to zoom in a lot to have a look at, which we have a volume, delta, delta max, and delta minimum. Now, if you're very new to this, you might be thinking, wow, what in the hell is this? Again, just subscribe to the channel, follow along, you'll learn this. We've had lots of people in our live streams learning. We've been trading along. People in the TG have been learning as we go. It'll all seem very alien to you now if you are new, but believe me, if you just trust the process and follow along, I'll break all of this down and keep it as simple as possible so we can all learn. And really, this is the source for how we trade. So again, if we're just looking at pattern recognition here, this is really all I'm looking for. Is we can see that we're in a downtrend. We can see that we've sold off already early into this what is around sort of like your London session. The very start, we've seen this sell-off and we've bounced off this second area, second standard deviation. VWAP, we've come to test, hit our head, come back down, test, hit our head, and we're coming to test here. Look, we're starting to break through. So what is the high probability scenario here? There's two things. We're going to be looking for shorts, right? Because we're in a downtrend, so shorts are going to have the highest probability. But what we're looking for? We're looking for, first of all, a break of here, This might be where, if you're watching the footprint, you might be looking to see, are sellers getting rewarded for their efforts, because this would match up nicely, right? And if not, well, then where might we be looking for shorts from? We might be looking at around about the previous day value area high, or what would be even higher confluence for a nice retrace downwards is a pushback up into this weekly VWAP and then start to trade down. And if you can catch a nice trade from this area around about 91.4, again, if it gets there, if we're seeing buyers being rewarded for their efforts, which currently they are, then we can guess that the high probability move is a pushback up here into this zone, and then we can look to catch our mean reversion model with an easy invalidation of us breaking this VWAP and continuing higher, and buyers still getting rewarded for their efforts. So again, you want more of a breakdown, you want to know more about this, you think, okay, maybe you didn't cover some things, join the free Telegram. You'll learn day by day. You can always send me questions on there as well. I'm happy to answer them. And subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. I'll be dropping this every day before the main New York Open session. So we can have a playbook ready to go, ready on how do we make money every single day, not giving you this big, overarching, here's where we think Bitcoin is at now for the month, and you don't really know how to make plays off that. This is going to be every day, okay, what I think the highest probability setups are, where you might look to enter, where you might look to take profit, and where you should be targeting in all of these moves. And we'll be doing them every day, Monday to Friday. But yeah, other than that, there's the first video. It's going to be the first of many in this series. So yeah, not much to say other than good luck, have fun, and I'll see you in the books.